Hey guys, how's it going? Billy coming back at you real quick with a long overdue rock and metal update. These are things that I have picked up, I would say, in the last 3 months or so. And I'm just going to get started here with some stuff that was picked up by Brandon. Brandon was kind enough to give me a call. He was contacted by one of the stores that he frequents quite a bit, and the owner had just picked up a rock and metal collection, and Brandon was going to get to go through it before he put it out on the floor. And the original intent, Brandon had extended the offer for me to go with him, and we could dig this thing together. But that didn't work out. The night that he got the call that the stuff was going to go out the next day, he was going to head over there. I had something else going on. I was working. Couldn't do it. So Brandon was kind enough to shoot me some text and actually give me a phone call. We talked about a few things that he thought I might be interested in. So I'm going to show you those right now. So Brandon actually had picked those up for me. So thank you again for that, Brandon, for arranging getting that done. But we have here an original copy of Slayer's South of Heaven. And that was the first thing because there were original pressings mixed in with a lot of reissues, and so Brandon took his time to make sure. He's like, "No, dude, this looks legit," and the price was unbelievable, and it's really nice. So I did not have this one here, and was stoked to get that one. Thank you for that, Brandon. Here's another one that Brandon thought could possibly be a bootleg, but it's not. It's just I believe it's a Brazilian pressing of Black Sabbath's Dehumanizer. Love this record. The Ronnie James Dio stuff is just so great. Not that the Ozzy stuff isn't, but man, the Dio stuff, especially the later stuff when he came back, just unbelievable. This is a great record. I couldn't remember how great it was until I put it back on. It's not in the best of condition. I mean, the cover's it's got a little wear on it, but man, this record is so hard to find. I was pumped, and I think, Brandon, you can correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I think it was 18 bucks. 15 bucks, 18 bucks, something like that. And I thought, you know what, for that price, even if it is a bootleg, I couldn't go wrong. Got it home, checked everything out, and it's I think it's a Brazilian pressing. But yeah, great to have it. Another one that I was kind of stoked to pick up. This is the Music on Vinyl, 9 Lives, Aerosmith. Great to finally have that in the collection. And then Motley Crue's Greatest Hits. This one, you know, I don't see very often, and I was glad to finally get that one picked up. Thank you again, Brandon, on that one. So those were the things that I met Brandon for. There were also a couple other things that I think I showed in another video, but when I met Brandon, we also went digging at a couple other places, and these are a couple of those things that I walked away with. You got Judas Priest, Sin After Sin. I'm sitting here drawing a blank. Judas Priest, Sin After Sin. Show this one here. Vintage Trouble. You guys may know who these guys are. You may not. I think they're an LA based band. I saw them open up a few years back with some open up for the Dixie Chicks. My wife and I went and saw the Dixie Chicks, and these guys opened up, and I was just completely blown away by their musicianship, their songs, their energy, the showmanship. It was great, and picked up their whatever album was available at the time. I can't even remember what it was. Picked that up immediately, and have always been looking for this one. So it's been almost 3 years on my want list, and I think it's only popped up one time, and the price was stupid expensive. So I was at the store. They had a box back behind the shelf of stuff that had just came in, which also, on top of this, there was a Prince gold Gold Experience on LP, and I think the guy was asking like $300 or $400 for it. It was up there, but it wasn't in the greatest condition. Anyway, I picked this up. It wasn't super cheap, but it was still a great price. I think he let me have it for like 36 or somewhere around that, $35, $36. And this is that was well worth it for that. These sell for 2-3 times that online. But all I did was, you know, check the record, make sure everything's good. When I get home, look what I notice. Huh, it's signed by the band. And how awesome is that? So that was a completely unexpected bonus right there. So I hate putting sleeves back on. I hate watching people trying to put sleeves back on in videos, but there we have it. And then another one I picked up with Brandon while we were digging, Fraley's Comet, second sighting. Then I was telling you in the other video, my country update, that all the collections that I had picked up last summer and even prior to that, I finally got everything sorted, as you can see. And once I pulled everything that I wanted, traded a few things, sent out a few VCLTs, I had about 1,000 records left. And so I ended up getting rid of them to my local record store, and I had a pretty decent size store credit. You know, they gave me some cash and gave me some store credit. So I think we had 150 cash and 200 in credit. And this was one of those things that I ended up getting, an original pressing of Guns N' Roses' Appetite for Destruction. Just a complete, this is one, as you guys know, I've been looking for this, a nice, real nice copy of this for a long time. Still in the shrink. Beautiful copy. Glad to have it. I played it, and it doesn't sound as good as I mean, it sounds okay, but the volume level is a little bit low, lower than the new remaster. The new remaster sounds great, and I don't know how new it is. It's maybe 2014, 2010, who the hell knows. But so then my wife and I went away for my birthday. We took my son up on a college recruiting trip, a football recruiting trip up north, and we dropped him off. He had an overnight, and then we went to a town about 30 miles east, and got a hotel, went out to dinner, and she actually took me to, we found this little record store, a really cool, like, small boutique little type record store, but man, it was great. It was well managed, well put together. It was everything that I think I would want to do if I were to do a record store, put together a record store and have my own place. This is how I would do it. Maybe on a little bit larger scale, but it was great. There was no junk in there. It was perfect, and it was upkept very well. So, you know, in one of my previous videos, I showed the Metallica Master of Puppets box set that my wife and kids ended up getting me for my birthday. So that was the big birthday gift. But so I didn't go crazy in the record store. I really wasn't going to get anything. But I found a nice, very nice original pressing of Ramones' Rocket to Russia, and I have been looking for this one for quite some time in this kind of condition. This is a very, very nice VG Plus OG copy. God, what did I in? $30. $30. So that one wasn't too bad. I was actually surprised that my wife let me get that. She was the one that kind of said, just go ahead and get it. So I was gonna put it back. She's like, no, go ahead and get it. And then I also picked up this. You know, this is the edited version, the second edition of Lynyrd Skynyrd Street Survivors. You know, of course, they pulled the flame cover after the plane crash. But I got to tell you, man, these are harder to find, at least in my area. And $9, I'm going to pick them up all day long. And it's a Gold stamp promo. Uh, that's in tribute to Peaches there. It's a gold stamp promo. But kind of cool. I'm gonna pick those up for $9 all day long in that decent shape, because I just don't see them. You know, maybe in other parts of the country they're abundant, but not here. I see probably 10 to 1, I would say, flame covers to that. Then when I went to Florida, right after my birthday, I spent some time down in Florida working with the Cardinals down in Jupiter, and flew into Fort Lauderdale, met a friend, we had lunch, and he took me to a couple local digging holes, a couple record stores, and was able to, I didn't get anything really big. I picked up 2 or 3 things, but T-Rex, Electric Warrior. I did not have this one, and $8. I was stoked to get that. So I took this and a couple country things that I did pick up, Johnny Paycheck and what else? Townes Van Zandt and Waylon Jennings, the Outlaws. I picked up those and had my buddy. The store was even nice enough to give me a mailing box. You know, like we send VCLT, record mailing boxes. They actually had big stack of them, because I'm sure they sell on Discogs and things like that. But they gave me a box with, I asked them, I said, hey, my buddy's going to send this back to me, because I didn't want to pack it in my luggage. This stuff was waiting for me when I got home, so that was kind of cool. Another few things that I've picked up, trying to complete my Whitesnake discography here, and this is a original German pressing of Trouble. So there you have it there. Very nice. Of course, you can see the shadow from the light. Again, I'm gonna have to fix that, get it up or get it out of the way, but I am kind of hating that. But a very, very nice copy of that. And then here is its American counterpart. And, you know, other than the notch cut out, this thing is gorgeous. It's beautiful. So that filled a couple holes in the Whitesnake collection, and then this one was an upgrade. I have a beater copy of this one, but of Saints and Sinners, but this one was super clean, and I wanted to get a nice clean copy to fill that out. Then, keeping with filling in holes in collections here, Sammy Hagar. This is a super rare. I guess it's a UK import. I think they only made 500 of these, and I could be completely wrong, but this is Loud and Clear, and it's printed on red translucent vinyl. So there we have that. So that one was really, I was excited to see that one pop up in my, because you know, as a lot of you guys are aware, or probably do the exact same thing. You know, you put stuff in your want list and never see it. I mean, you can go months without seeing it pop up, and you know, any of them coming up for sale. And I was pretty stoked when I saw that one come up in the want list one night, and I think it was like $12. So jumped on that real quick. This is something that Mark with Project Gemini, we had discussed, and I believe Mark's from Canada. We had discussed doing a trade. Mark had made this project, and I knew nothing about the Project Gemini album or anything like that. This release, really honestly didn't know Mark that well, but he reached out, extended the offer, said he would love to check out my record, and he would be kind enough to send me his records. So we traded records, and I got to tell you, while this isn't the first thing that I'm going to go to and listen to, it's more progressive. Kind of reminded me a lot of Rush. Honestly, it has a lot of that very progressive sound to it. It's really good, and I'm not throwing you any BS there. It's really good. I played it a couple times and was blown away by not only the production value, but the attention to detail he put into the packaging and everything else. It's a very, very good product. If you guys get a chance and you're into that kind of stuff, check out Mark. It's Mark Anthony K. He's here. I believe he's in the VC because he saw my videos and reached out to me. So definitely check it out if you're into this kind of stuff. Moving along to Seeger, trying to fill in some holes in that collection as well. I believe this is a pretty rare. I think this is probably an import. Yes, this is an Australian import, if I'm not mistaken. But this is just the Bob Seger collection. I believe it's the first. It's snippets or samples off of the first 6 albums. Yeah, I think it goes up through Stranger in Town. But that's a tough one to find. And then while I was at it, I picked up the newest one, I Knew You When. This one, it's I hate to say it, but Bob just, while he can still sing, he's not the, I'm trying to be nice. Let's face it, his voice is gone. Kind of a lot like, you know, a lot of people that get to be that age, you know. Paul Stanley, you know, his voice is shot. Seeger can still sing. He just can't hit those notes that he used to really go after and get all the time. You guys that like Seeger know what I'm talking about. You know, the only guy, and I've said it 100 times, the only guy that can still do it at 70 years old is Sammy Hagar. That guy still sings all his songs in the same key. And I know Andy Borders is going to talk major garbage on that, but Sammy Hagar's the man. He can still do it, and Bob Seger's the man too. It's an okay album. I actually liked the one prior to this a little better, but good stuff. It has a great song on here, which is I think it's I Knew You When or I'll Remember You. I can't remember. One of these is a tribute to Glenn Frey, and it's a very, very nice song. And then this one, I was really pumped to get this one. This is the Bob Seger Classics. This is a UK limited edition, I believe. There were only 1,000 of these pressed, I believe. Maybe. I would think there maybe 2,000. Hell, who knows? But there's the number on there. They're all individually numbered, and this thing is really hard to find. So I'm definitely glad to add that one to the collection, and that probably got me really close to completing my Seeger collection as well. You guys know I'm a huge Blackberry Smoke fan. I was stoked to see that they finally released. You know, Blackberry Smoke is really good about putting their stuff out and making it available on vinyl. But for the longest time, actually until last month, their first couple releases were not available on vinyl. So this is their first release, Bad Luck Ain't No Crime. And it's a soup. They do a great job packaging their stuff as well. This is just a great rock and roll, southern rock, swampy type record. Doesn't have as much country influence as their later stuff does, but it's still a great record nonetheless, and great to add it to the collection. This is a little bit more country right here. This is the new Honky Tonk Bootlegs, and there's this one has Son of a Bourbon, Lesson in a Bottle, Live in Hell. I think it has, yeah, it has both versions of Live in Hell on here, I believe. So glad to have those. So I just saw those guys. Excuse me, just saw those guys. I check them out anytime they roll through town. I just saw them last month. What was it, February 15th, in concert, and this guy opened up for him, Lukas Nelson and Promise of the Real. And I gotta tell you, I went in with no expectations whatsoever. I wouldn't say low expectations. I went in with no expectations and was blown away at how good these guys were. I mean, it was they were so good. While I was watching the show, I was looking on Discogs or eBay and online to see what this new record, because I saw that a lot of these it's a double LP. A lot of the songs that they were playing that night in the set were on this new record. So I'm like, I'm gonna get it. I have to have it. One song in particular just blew me away. It's called "Forget About Georgia." Holy shit, man, it's great. "Fool Me Once" was a great country song with a killer hook. But there's some really, really good stuff on here. They were selling for $25 to $30 or more online, and then you gotta wait for it, whatever. I went to the merch booth and they had them for $30. So I thought, well, $30, I'm gonna buy it right now. So I left the show with this, and couldn't have been any happier. It was a good night. So that's great. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but Stavros, I think it was Stavros. I hope I'm not wrong. If it was, I apologize, guys. But I'm thinking Stav was talking about Lukas Nelson and Promise of Real a few months back. But man, killer stuff. And then I think lastly here, guys, yeah, we're just gonna go through these real quick. This was a recent Goodwill score. I actually sent Brandon a text of these. I sent a picture of it when they were in the back of the Durango. I had them all laid out. 50 cents a piece on these. This is what is this? The legendary Jimi Hendrix, Get That Feeling. I have a ton of Jimi Hendrix, but I did not have this. So this is from 1976. Jimi Hendrix plays and Curtis Knight sings. So there was that. 50 cents. Wasn't going to leave that one. Never see any Jimi in Goodwill. And then this, these next few, man. While they're not in the greatest of condition, they're still awesome to have for 50 cents. The best of Sam Cooke. Great. And I was pumped to see these. Al Green, Call Me. Al Green, Explores Your Mind. Living for You. I did spin these next two, and great. They sounded awesome. And these are original pressings on the London label. All of these are. And then here is Gets Next to You. This is the big one with I'm a Ram. Yeah, killer stuff. But anyway, that's pretty much everything I have picked up recently for rock, metal, soul. So there you have it, guys. Thank you for tuning in as always. Until next time, take care. Peace.